Join us 5:30 Saturday.
Thanks, Joe. Stay with us. News is next with Bruce and Heather. But from all the extra team, have a good weekend.
This is Wind News Sunshine Coast.
Tonight, contamination threats against Matilda service stations. Destruction derby on wet roads sends the coast into chaos. And gamers rejoice as the PlayStation 3 hits coast shelves. Good evening. Sunshine Coast Matilda service stations were business as usual this afternoon, despite the petrol chain being the target of a contamination threat. Police are investigating the source of a letter, but say fuel was not the target.
Receiving the letter nearly a week ago, police decided to go public today. The Matilda chain in southeast Queensland is at the...
This sports report brought to you by the Mitsubishi 4-wheel drive Revolution.
Only 2 sleeps to go until the Mooloolaba Triathlon, and a swag of nations are on the coast checking out the course. It will be the first round of the World Cup and a vital event in the lead-up to Olympic selection.
The world's best triathletes on the coast getting some special attention. Even a swimming tip or two from the local wildlife.
Good luck. This is Mick Sullivan for Wind News.
Good on you, Mick. See you next week. That's all for local sport this week. Jessica's up next with the latest on this wet weather. Then Porto tells us where to find the best breaks for the weekend.
This weather report is proudly brought to you by Retrovision.
Good evening. Well, the rains have come again, causing some havoc on our roads, but in the end, not a lot actually fell. Let's take a look at those figures. And 6 mils fell on Beerburrum, Peachester 5, 4 mils for Karoi, while Mullaney and Nambour had 3 mils. A top of 30 degrees at Rainbow Beach today. Gympie reached 29, Noosa 27, 28 for Nambour and Maroochydore. Fairly cool at Mullaney and Caloundra, where it peaked at 25 degrees. Currently outside it's 25 degrees, humidity's at 76% with southeasterly winds at 25 kilometres per hour. Taking a look at the satellite image, and we can see a touch of rain over the Sunshine Coast and the southeast. Elsewhere you can see how a trough and a cold front's bringing strong winds and showers to South Australia, Victoria and Tasmania. On the chart, that high is still a major feature. The weakening ridge connecting to it is bringing moist onshore winds and some showers to the Queensland coast over the next few days. So tomorrow for the Sunshine Coast, 21 to 27 degrees. Expect a few showers and light to moderate southeast to easterly winds. Brisbane will reach 30 degrees. For the Wide Bay Burnett region, mostly fine, only a shower or two. Moderate southeast to easterly winds. Sunrise at 5:53. On the water, and Maroochydore had east-southeasterly winds at 12 knots, 17 knots off Double Island Point. Tomorrow expect southeast to northeast winds at 10 to 15 knots, seas to 1.2 metres, scattered showers. And low tide tomorrow off Caloundra's at 6:24am, the high later in the morning at 11:44. Peaking ahead and showers for much of the weekend and into next week before things start to fine up again, temperatures cooler, only reaching about 28 degrees. Well, you may like to brave those showers if a good wave can be found. Here to tell us if there's any about is Ian Puddingale with the Surf Report.
Thanks, Jessica. Well, surfers, it's been pretty ordinary on the coast this week. Those onshore winds have chopped things up a lot. The weekend isn't looking much better as those easterlies continue, probably around 15 knots. Low tides early around 6am with high tide around 12 noon. The beach breaks are around 1 to 1.2 metres and they've been closing out quite a lot on those lower tides, so mid-morning will be better. Unfortunately, the onshores will gradually chop things up, so don't waste too much time driving around. Check all the open beaches from Sunshine through to Maroochydore, Kawana through to Ann Street. The points will have some small 1/2 to 3/4 metre waves and they will be cleaner. Early morning could be the best time while that tide is lower, but it can get crowded. Be on the standby for the wind to increase on Sunday. It could get up to 25 knots from the southeast. Maybe it could increase the swell for us. For swimmers, water temp is still around 24 degrees and most of those open beaches have strong rips and currents associated with the deep holes and gutters. Mooloolaba and Noosa main beaches will be a better option, but watch for the dumping waves. Obviously Mooloolaba will have a lot of roads closed due to the triathlon, so watch out for these. There's also been a lot of seaweed at Alexander Headland. As always, swim between the flags and stay in waist-deep water. So have a great weekend. I hope you find a wave or two to carve your name on, and I'll see you again next week. Ian Portingale, Win News.
Thanks, Porto. Have a good one. Well, that's all from your local news for across the Sunshine Coast for the end of the working week. Thank you so much for your company. Our news headlines can be found on our website, wintv.com.au. From all the team, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Good night.
This has been a Win News presentation from Australia's largest regional television network.
Tonight, the cricket world reeling. An autopsy confirms Bob Woolmer was strangled.
It would have taken some significant force in which to subdue him and cause strangulation.
City Inferno, 3 dead after a crash in a Melbourne tunnel.
Hundreds plead for exemptions from level 5 water bans.
At the end of the day, like the gurney's using less water than what you're using with a bucket or with a hose.
National 9 News with Bruce Paige and Heather Foord.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The cricket world is in shock again after Jamaican police confirmed that Pakistan coach Bob Woolmer was murdered. They say he was strangled and there could have been more than one killer. The whole of the Pakistan team has been questioned and fingerprinted.
Cricket has had plenty of scandals, but nothing close to this.
The family has since successfully lobbied for a radio tower at Alexandria Bay.
Just ahead in the news, the 7-year-old who weighs more than 100 kilos.
And a mad rush for PlayStation 3.
Poor little Zach, just 10 years old, bullied and bashed in the playground.
He was screaming. He threw the rock at my eye.
And the teachers couldn't care less.
He got detention for complaining about it.
Plus the organic food. You pay twice the price, but is it all a giant con?
Really, I didn't see any difference.
A current affair